From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Scenes of violence and destruction return to war-torn Gaza as fighting replaces the ceasefire that lasted for a week and then ran out. The sister of a suspect in a Bay Area tech executive's murder makes headlines of her own. Why police say she was arrested and what they say they discovered on her front seat. And the Bay Area observes World AIDS Day, the tribute in the Castro for everyone to see, for those affected by the disease over many years. Good morning and thanks for starting your day with us. Today is Saturday, December 2nd. I'm Max Darrow. Fighting in Gaza is once again intensifying after a week-long ceasefire came to an end. Israel's military is continuing air and ground attacks today, releasing this video of what it says are strikes on Hamas's targets. We have not verified exactly where or when these videos were taken, but Palestinian officials report Israel has targeted southern parts of the Gaza Strip since their truce agreement ended yesterday. Mediators say they are working to restore the truce as the situation is once again dangerous for hundreds of thousands of Palestinian civilians. Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
Flashes in the sky over southern Gaza early Saturday are more proof the fight between Israel and Hamas has resumed. Since the 7-day ceasefire broke down, Israel says its forces have hit more than 200 terror targets. And Gaza health officials say at least 200 people have been killed and hundreds more injured. Israel blames Hamas for the resumption of fighting.
Unfortunately, Hamas decided to terminate the pause by failing to release all the kidnapped women as it was obligated to do so, and kidnapped children, and by resuming rocket fire.
As the battle resumes, there are new questions about what Israel knew ahead of the Hamas terror attack that sparked the war. The New York Times reports Israeli officials dismissed intelligence warning about the attack, including a 40-page battle plan. This Israeli soldier told CBS News her superiors ignored warning signs on the border months before the attack.
They didn't take anything seriously. They always thought that Hamas is less powerful than what they actually are.
In Gaza, civilians are again fleeing to try to escape Israeli airstrikes. Homes have been destroyed, forcing residents to pick through rubble for survivors. We're not criminals, we're not terrorists, this woman said. We just want to live in safety and want our children to feel safe. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris arrived in Dubai Saturday to represent the U.S. at the COP28 climate summit. She'll also meet with regional leaders on new developments in Gaza.
A short time ago, the health ministry in Hamas-run Gaza released an update on the death toll from the war. It says more than 15,000 people have been killed, two-thirds of them women and children. But also this morning, we are learning that dozens of aid trucks entered Gaza today from Egypt through the Rafah crossing. 50 trucks made it through despite renewed fighting after the collapse of the recent truce. Former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger welcomed family members of Israeli hostages into his Santa Monica home on Friday. He listened to their stories and pledged his ongoing support. California's former governor and action movie star says that he always wants to be there for the Jewish people and for Israel. He also condemned the attacks carried out by Hamas.
This is a barbaric behavior. And so when something like this happens, I feel personally that we have to speak out. And this is exactly what this gathering here today is about.
Later, Schwarzenegger presented 3 eagle statues to the family members who'd flown from Israel to attend the gathering. And for the very latest on the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza, head to KPIX.com. We are also streaming 24/7 on the CBS News app.
Plenty of clouds out there this morning and a few spotty showers. Those are going to be with us as we head through at least the first half of the day, but we should be seeing the forecast drying out entirely for the second half of the weekend tomorrow and then into early next week as high pressure takes over in the upper levels of the atmosphere, just a hill of air, suppressing the development of any even isolated showers. Those chances are not going to be high as we head through the rest of the day, a 20 to 30% chance on an hour-by-hour basis, and enough breaks in the cloud cover to temperatures to end up about 2 to 4 degrees above average, ranging from the upper 50s along the coast to the low to mid-60s around the bay and farther inland.
We are getting a look at the moment when Kzar Momeni was arrested on a Tenderloin street for allegedly driving under the influence and hitting a couple of cars. So we first saw her back in April when she appeared at the San Francisco courthouse with her husband. She is the sister of Nima Momeni, accused of killing Cash App founder Bob Lee earlier this year. Kzar Momeni had allegedly gotten into an argument about his sister's relationship with Lee before he was accused of stabbing Lee to death in the street. Now, new video obtained by the Daily Mail shows the moments Kzar Momeni was arrested, pleading with an officer not to be taken to jail.
You're being detained?
The Daily Mail video went on to show what looked like a can of nitrous oxide in the front seat of her Mercedes-Benz. Inhaling nitrous oxide recreationally is known as whippets, which can impair the user and have dangerous side effects.
This up off the can of whippets, bro.
Police say she was charged with DUI, 2 counts of hit and run, as well as other charges. Meanwhile, her brother recently made headlines again for asking to move his murder trial outside of San Francisco. His attorneys claimed biased and unfair media coverage would prevent him from having a free trial. Now to Santa Rosa this morning, where multiple teens, all 16 and younger, have been arrested for gang-related fights with guns and knives over just 2 days. Police say 18 teenagers were involved in a fight between 2 rival gangs yesterday at the Santa Rosa Transit Mall. Officers who chased them through the mall arrested 3 15-year-old boys. Police say one teen had a ghost gun tucked into his waistband, while another one had a knife. This past Wednesday, a student at Santa Rosa High School was injured in a fight with a kitchen knife on campus. A 16-year-old student was arrested for that. In San Francisco, City Hall was lit up all on Friday for the 35th annual World AIDS Day. It's a time to fight the stigma of the virus and remember the 32 million people who have died. People who lived through the time when HIV first hit San Francisco say they will never forget the fear and devastation the virus left behind. The names of the lives claimed by AIDS were written in chalk across Castro Street. One man used a 27-page obituary list from 1989 and 1990 to honor the people who may never have gotten a personal tribute. And in San Jose, the Billy DeFrank Center displayed panels from the National AIDS Memorial Quilt, representing locals who lost their lives. We spoke with one man who was diagnosed with HIV at just 22 years old and was once told he only had months to live.
It was overwhelming, but I did what I think a lot of people did in the early 80s, is I went home and cried. My doctor says I'm a miracle for people living with HIV. So it's important to remember everyone that has passed away and also the people that are living positive here still today.
Eddie lost 3 partners and countless friends to the disease, so that's why every year he makes a point to honor their memory. People at the event also told us doing things like this helps fight misinformation about HIV and AIDS.